Welcome, welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Go for it. You know what? One of the things I've seen are people with great ideas. I mean, great ideas, great business ideas, great ideas that could just make the world a better place. But they sit back and they'll say, well, maybe, and I'll sit back and I don't know if I can do this. And I'm like, man, you won't know if you can do anything until you actually try it. I'm going to tell you what, it's better to just go for it, go for the dream, do what you got to do, try to make it happen and fail than it is to say, what if? You know, there's a lot of people saying, what if out here? Or what if I did this? You know, one of the worst things to do in life is to go through with regrets. You know, and that's one thing I look at life. I don't regret it. I'm trying to think of what I regret. And honestly, no. And I haven't, you know what? I've had my share of failures. There's no shame in that. You know, I remember I had a troll one time just say, hey, you failed at this. You know how trolls do. They just try to throw some stuff. I'm like, well, yeah. You know, that's how I got to where I am now, because then I knew not to do a particular thing. And I could at least say I went for it. It was like, you know, I went for it. It didn't work. Okay, boom. I'll be happy about it. Shoot. Inventors, you know, you got famous inventors. They had a lot of stuff that didn't work. You know, if you're a good salesman, shoot, you're going to get rejected most of the time. I mean, even selling my book, Nice Guys and Players. I mean, I've had people, I'll be selling the book. Sometimes I hear people see the title and just laugh. I mean, like, in my face laugh. And I just laugh. I just look at them and laugh about it. And then that same person ended up buying the book. And then, you know, it had straight rejections there. It was like, that's part of life. But that's, you know, you just got to go for it. You know, if you got a dream, you got an idea. Because, yeah, you can fail. That's true. I mean, shoot. Even great basketball players, you know, they miss a shot. Great football players, they, you know, miss a tackle. You know, quarterbacks throw interceptions, running backs fumble, receivers drop the ball. You know what they do? They get back up and go for it. Because one of the things is once you go for it, you just as likely to make it. You just as likely to do something great. You know, like I know a lot of men and women who are in jobs they can't stand. And they have a business idea or something. And I counsel them the same way. I say, okay, start looking at your job as your day job. This isn't your main thing. Your main thing is whatever you do. You know, your day job is just there to keep bills paid while you work on your real business or your real idea. And then you want to get to the point you can use that idea, business, whatever, to start making money, right? Once you start making money, you build that business, and then you can leave that job, that day job. But you won't know unless you go for it. And I mean, and I'm gonna tell you what, that's a one thing that frustrates me. A lot of stuff don't frustrate me, but one thing that does frustrate me is when I listen to people, and you know, I look at their ideas, and because people always tell me their ideas, and I'm like, how come you haven't gone for it? And they like hemming and hawing and all of this stuff. I'm like, you know, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. You know, all you talking about is doing something that'll change your life, doing something that you will enjoy. That's it. I mean, you think about it, it was like, wait a minute. Okay, if you fail, see one thing, well, let me get into failure in a bit. Failing just means maybe you shouldn't have did it that way. I'm going to share a story of a famous person, Tyler Perry. Regardless of how, you know, people feel about him, he has a great story. You know, when he first did a play, it failed. And, you know, he had to go, you know, do some soul searching and all of that. He said he might have got 30 people to go. But then he was able to get up money. He did the play again, and it succeeded. Right? And, just as funny story how he succeeded, because, he did the Christian plays. The first time he did the play, people didn't show up. The second time, he casted pastors of local churches. And they brought their people came out to see their pastors. It's like, boom, and the rest is history. One thing about failure, if you do go out there and you fail, sometimes it's just telling you maybe you should do it differently. It don't necessarily mean you should give up on that particular dream, maybe the way you approached it. Because a failure just means it's really not even a failure, it's just a lesson. You're just like, oh, okay. Maybe if I do it this way, Because people don't realize I still make little stuff, little calculations that might not work the way I thought it would. But then I'm like, oh, okay, this is what I need to do. That's it. But the only way I would know that is I always go for it. I was just like, hey, I got an idea to do this. Let me just go for it. One thing, you can't have a fear of failure. In fact, you have to embrace it because it means you try. And you know what? It could be a situation, no matter how you do it, it ain't working. You just look back at that and say, oh, okay, I know that doesn't work. Because one of the things out here, see, a lot of times when people see people succeeding at something, they don't see everything else that happened, right? It's like a joke I saw about, excuse the vulgarity that I'm about to express, but it's like a joke about somebody said about success. Everybody, and they compared it to having a baby. It was like everybody seen, they see the woman that had the baby, she's all happy and stuff, right? But nobody's thinking about how many times she had to get fucked to get the baby. And also what type of labor she had to do to get the baby. And it's the same thing with success. Another analogy is an iceberg, right? Success is like the iceberg. You see the tip of it, but you don't see everything underneath. You don't see what you had to go through. People see me as successful doing my thing now. I don't work for anybody. But they don't see like the long hours I had to spend like folding up pamphlets. They don't see that. Or see the times I've done book signings that might have had one person buy a book. Right? They don't see the times I've done seminars. I've done a couple seminars where I've had like literally one person sitting in front of me. Like couple times. Right? When I've done seminars, when I've had standing room only, or a bunch of people in the room. Or when I'm like I'm on an auditorium and on a panel or something, they didn't see when I had just that one person standing in front of me. Just sitting there, and it was like it might as well have been a coaching session. But I didn't let those things deter me. You just keep going, and the first thing to do is really just go for it. Just what do you got to lose? Only thing, honestly, all you got to lose really is you have nothing to lose. Because you go for it, you gain to do something that you really enjoy doing. You gain a better life, probably more money, because you really can't make money working for somebody else. So whatever it is, you just got to go for it, right? And then when, go for it, and figure it out, do what you gotta do. So anyway, that's the message for today, right? And I know I'll just say this. I'll say this in party. Everybody has a dream. Everybody. I've never met one single person that didn't have a dream of doing something big. Not one single person. No matter how small that they might seem, no matter how ordinary the job is, how ordinary their circumstances, everybody has a dream. I believe the world would be a better place if every single person went for that dream. So, anyway, I want everybody to keep rising and transforming. Peace and blessings.